when I was young, I used to wonder how the end of the world was going to be, and I used to wonder what it would look like. Yeah, what would the end of the world actually look like? And we used to have these movies that would come out, especially growing up in that non-biblical, no Torah understanding so-called Christian church. I grew up in a time when all those Left Behind movies was coming out, and they had these pictures, if y'all haven't seen those, you ain't missing nothing. But they were so off of trying to paint what the end of the world was going to be like. And one of the things that they would always assure the people, and they would say, it don't matter how bad it gets, the one thing that we know is we ain't gonna be here, so we ain't gotta worry about it. We ain't gonna be here, so we ain't gotta worry about it. That pig-eating preacher would tell you in a minute, well, the way it ends up, you ain't gotta worry about it. Why? We ain't gonna be here. We ain't gonna be here. And watch this. Two things. Number one, he lied. Why? Because we here. And number two, to answer your question about what it's gonna look like, it looks like this. This is what the end of the world, the end of time, the last days, this is what it looks like. We're living in it. We're living in it. And the reason why I made the video is because I need to help you see that we're living in it. This is it. And even though we got almost 1,400, 1,500 videos out, and people have been preaching this and teaching it, there's still a group of people who still just don't believe it, no matter what we say, that these are literally the last day. And because obviously I'm uploading these videos every time I get a chance to drive a little bit, I think I take out time, and if I have an idea, I share it with you while I'm driving. Oh, and by the way, if this is your first time seeing me, I'm Maury Yoshiyahu Dawid in Israel, and I am Maury here at the Awakening Remnant Coalition, where Abba Yah has called us to help wake up the remnant of the house of Israel in the last days. And of course, we're supported 100% by those who believe that this ministry is worthwhile. So Toda Rabbi for all of your support, and of course, we always are thankful for your prayers. So a lot of times when I'm on the road, I have time to think, and sometimes I think out loud, like I'm doing right now, sharing with you something that I think is still in the back of a lot of people's mind that we're going to have to get out, or at least try to help people get it out their mind. And number one is, or the thing that I want to talk about today, is the idea of the end of time being something way out there in the future, when literally it's right up on us now. Babylon is falling now. The beast is falling now. Mystery Babylon is falling now. Sodom and Gomorrah is falling now. Egypt is falling. All of those ancient satanic pagan powers are falling. And of course, in the last days, we would see one power. We'd see the world unified under one power, which we see it now. And we will see that that power would be against the Torah, and that it would parade itself as a form of godliness, a form of righteousness, but it would be denying everything in the Torah. And of course, that's what we see now with the world, the major world religion, of course, by far being the so-called Christian church or the Catholic Church, which is basically the same thing. And one of the teachings that is prominent is this idea of a rapture at the end. We about to get out of here before anything bad happens. What time is it? Okay, I got a couple more minutes. First of all, I want you all in just this video, and if you're waking up to the truth, in just this one video, I want you to just think about the high level of white supremacy in the doctrine of the rapture. I want you to think about that. It's the most racist. It's the most white supremacist. And it's the most what is it? Whatever doctrine that could have ever been written. Think about this. The rapture is basically, their teaching is, before things get really bad for us, before it gets out of control, before there's the so-called Antichrist, right? We will be raptured out of here, and we won't have to experience none of that. So watch the white supremacy in that. So you're just gonna ignore the fact that there were 400 years of chattel slavery by the hands of the European here. There was no rapture for us. You were the enemy. You're the Antichrist. You're the murderer. You're the thief. You're the liar. You are the worst of all human beings. You operated in human smuggling, human trafficking, buying and selling people. And then once you bought and sold and became rich, then you not only took advantage of them, but then stole their name, stole their language, stole their land, stole their jewels. Every time they come up with an invention, you steal the patents. Every time they come up with music, you steal the rights. Every time they do anything, you take advantage of them. They're robbed and spoiled. And yet, there was no rapture. Because in your mind, the rapture is only going to happen for white people when white Jesus come back. And that's right before, quote unquote, anything bad happened. And that doctrine, when you think about the evil and oh my, that's been done all around the world, and there was no rapture. What makes you think that when another evil come, all of a sudden you're going to be out of here and you're going to miss it after all the evil that this nation and these other nations have done? What makes you think that some kind of way you're going to escape the wrath? It's not going to happen. Now, when I say the rapture, I'm talking about the Christian church doctrine of the rapture. I'm not talking about the idea of being gathered, because that's a whole nother doctrine. There's a biblical doctrine. Matter of fact, in the next video, I might start right there. I might start with the biblical doctrine of gathering. And we will clearly define who is actually about to be gathered. We'll talk about that. But until now, just know, if you want to know what the end of the world looks like, if you want to know what it's going to look like, if you want to know what it's going to be, I tell you what you better do. You better get rid of every single picture you've ever conjured up in your mind growing up, or even thinking now, watching all these pictures and movies and things like that. What you better do is get rid of that. Especially if your mindset thinks that some kind of way, before this thing turns demonic and there's an antichrist and all that, that you're going to get raptured up out of here. Let me tell you something. That is not what the book says. That's not what the Bible says. We are living right now in the last days. And we are really living in the time of the return of the King. I don't want to make this video too long so it can upload on time, and I'll come right back with the next one. One love. Support the work of the art. Keep looking up. Our redemption is drawing nigh.